about that first step. Imagine you are stuck in a puddle of mud. If you don't step your foot out of that puddle, you're gonna get stuck in that puddle. And that dirt is gonna dry up and you're gonna stay there. So don't do that to yourself. As soon as, personally for me, I get that negative thought, I say this out loud. I say, shut up. I say, shut up. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Robin. In today's video, I will be talking about how to keep yourself busy in 2020. We all know that this year has been crazy, and with the COVID-19 pandemic, it's definitely affected everyone in some way or the other, whether directly or indirectly. I wanted to, make a video on this topic because I actually have people in my life that are struggling to find things to do to keep themselves busy when they're home, or they're just running out of ideas. So I just decided to make this video. I actually thought about, what are some things that can really help someone get through this difficult time when they are being quarantined at home. And personally, I've also made it relatable to myself because I have also been working from home, and I have pretty much not gone out unless I needed to do groceries or essentials. And actually, on that point, that's not entirely true. I have gone out, but not to social events. I've gone out to hike. I've gone out for nature trips. So one of the first things I have on my list here is, I think everyone can relate to this. Being at home, if you're working from home, you should be thankful. And because that keeps you occupied for most of your day. But especially for those that are not working from home and are out of employment, or they just have usually more free time now than they did before. For a lot of those people, and overthinkers especially, and I'm an overthinker, I'm guilty of that. We need to all learn to avoid having negative thoughts. I was gonna say stop, but then I just realized it's never really gonna stop. We just have to prevent the negative thoughts. We have to avoid the negative thoughts. And I think this is one of the biggest number one items I have on my list, because I don't know about you guys, but even if my mind is free for a moment, I just get a huge rush of thoughts in my mind. And so that's why I said we can't really ever stop some of these thoughts, but as soon as we get these thoughts, how do we react, or what do we do? One of the things that's worked for me is, as soon as a negative thought strikes my mind, and I almost feel as if I don't have control sometimes of what kind of thought will arrive in my mind, right? Because we have this whole subconscious mind where a lot of things are going, and they're not really in our conscious mind. So oftentimes we'll be washing dishes and your brain just wanders over to past memory, and you're like, what the hell, why am I even thinking about this? What am I doing right now? You're not thinking about it consciously, but you're thinking about it subconsciously. So you'll definitely, a memory will kind of come up, and that becomes a conscious thought. So as soon as, personally for me, I get that negative thought, whether that's a negative thought about, something that's happened in the past, or something that might happen in the future, Um, this is gonna sound really funny, but I say this out loud. I say, shut up. I say, shut up. And sometimes I will use some swearing, but that's just to knock off that negative thought. And guess what? For me, it works every time. Every time. Even if it's about to, become a thought, like it's just starting to come up, right? I'll say, shut up, okay? So I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but definitely if you haven't, try that. And even just reiterating something. So one of the examples I have here is, instead of saying, great, I'm stuck at home for months, change your thinking a little bit here. Say to yourself, how can you take this extra time that you have now gained, fortunately, in an unfortunate event? How can you improve yourself? How can you personally develop yourself? Or what can you do what can you do about the situation to help others, whether it be your family members, whether it be your friends? So obviously, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. But definitely these are some of the ideas or ways of changing your thinking. You may constantly get a thought that, but my friend still has that job, but I lost my job. Rather than saying that, you should say, I'm so glad I'm not physically out there, because that would be a huge risk to my health and those around me, especially if you're living with elderly. So finding a positive in the negative is always something you should try to do. It's something that I always try to do. And definitely the first point where I just tell myself to shut up is an immediate reaction of mine when something is starting to form in my brain as a negative thought, and it just blocks it. So I don't know if you've tried that, but definitely try that if you haven't. Second item on my list is to try something new, or try something that you already don't know. There's never enough learning someone can do, right? There's so many things out there, maybe things that you imagine yourself never doing, whether it be painting or whether it be riding a bike, whether it be becoming a nature person, going for hikes. Try to take that step. It's always, like, I even tell myself this, it's always about that first step. Imagine you are stuck in a puddle of mud. If you don't step your foot out of that puddle, you're gonna get stuck in that puddle. And that dirt is gonna dry up and you're gonna stay there. So don't do that to yourself. Take that first step out of that muddy puddle and try out something different. And it doesn't have to be something so complicated or hard. It can be as simple as reading books and maybe learning a new recipe. Highly important. And I would say this is mandatory. Go for a walk. Going out, bike riding, walking. So I would highly suggest that if you're not doing that, and you are someone who is not currently employed and you are at home, please go out there, go for a 5-minute walk, sit out on your porch, talk distantly from your neighbor. Just get that fresh air. Trust me, it does wonders. Your mood will change like this. You need to go out, breathe in that fresh air. You need to, rejuvenate that mind of yours. So I've already mentioned reading a book, but in here I'm specifying actually, seriously consider reading a book. And believe it or not, I was the type of person that hated reading. Throughout high school, university, I would, whenever, like my sister, she's a huge reader. She loves reading novels, she loves reading everything. And she was always like giving me books. Oh, this is a really good one. This has a really good story, or this is really educational, blah, 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 blah. And I just hated it and I said no. Sometimes I would just take it to like literally shut her up. If she's watching this, she's gonna kill me. But she would literally give it to me and I would just say, yeah, I'm gonna read it. And I would never read it. And she'll even follow up with me months after and I'll say, oh, I never got a chance. Because I always felt that if I'm gonna read, I'd rather read my textbooks because I don't even fully get to complete reading my textbooks. So that was my thinking, at least back then. I've definitely outgrown that thinking because I realized that it's not about reading something. It's about reading something that's of interest to you, okay? So you could have a bunch of books in front of you and you might not be interested in any book. Or, you would never even take that initiative to actually see would you be interested. But then sometimes you hear other people saying things or recommending certain books and you still might not be interested until you hear about a certain topic that might interest you. So over the past few years, something that was of interest to me was, again, nothing fictional, no novels. It was more about spirituality, okay? And, I went through certain experiences in my life and people recommended it, a certain book. And also, I have read a novel actually, only one, and that too in high school because I was forced to. But after I, ended up reading it, I really enjoyed it. It was called The Kite Runner. It's one of my favorite books and the only one that I've actually read and finished reading. But now I'm more into spirituality, reading on spirituality, things to improve yourself. So a little bit more educational on personal development. So other suggestions is organizing your room or your closet. I know it kind of sounds boring, but let's admit it. Being quarantined and being demotivated, being upset, being sad about current times, because especially it's been really hard on people that are dealing with a mental illness or, staying at home for too long makes them feel suffocated. And before COVID-19, one of their escapes, and maybe unknowingly one of their escapes, was socializing and going out on a regular basis. And only now that they're finding out that, this is too hard for them. And so I highly suggest, you have to push yourself a little bit. I know it's hard, but really try to find things like that. So for instance, cleaning up your closet. So I'm sure, I've had those days where I don't want to do anything. Even if I have like a few days off, I don't want to do anything. And then I'll realize the day before I have to go back to work that the place is such a mess. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is giving me so much anxiety. Why didn't I use this time to clean up my closet or do laundry? So if you're someone that has had a huge pile of laundry, or even clean laundry sitting on your bed or on the corner of your room that needs to be folded or hung on the hangers, it's about time you get to that, okay? And I'm not a huge fan of cleaning up. I like to be clean, but I'm not a huge fan of cleaning up. So one of the things I do to really pump me up is play that music. So playing music, it just brings all these happy cells in my body together, and they apparently start to jump and do their thing. Sometimes I feel like I get more dancing done when I'm cleaning up than actual cleaning, but hey, it does get done eventually. So if you're someone who needs to clean up, then I would definitely say play your favorite music and just get started. Trust me, as soon as you play that music, it's gonna definitely get you up. try it. Maybe you want to consider getting a pet, right? I know one of my friends got a pet, and this was a perfect time for her to get a pet because she had the time to train. Because remember, like dogs and cats, they're just like babies, kind of, okay? Some people are gonna kill me for saying that, but initially, like, they need that attention, right? They need that caretaking. So maybe it's time to get a pet, right? It will definitely change your life in a positive way. I promise you. I promise you. I have a dog and he's 6 years old and he has behavior issues, okay? He is very hard to handle even to this day. But for some reason, having him it just makes me so happy. It's hard work, but it makes me so happy. He really did change my life. So I would highly recommend it. Get a pet if you already don't have one. And if you have one, then teach them a new trick, right? Teach them how to roll over, or I don't know, maybe give a kiss. Like right now I'm trying to teach my dog how to give a hug. So it doesn't have to be something so complicated, but just those little things, they're so cute. Spend time with family and friends. I think this is a natural. I mean, I think everyone was kind of forced to stay home and spend time with their family and friends. This might work out for some people and this might not work well for others, because not everyone always is fond of, you know, staying in all the time. But let's make that a positive alternative, right? So if you are, first of all, if you're someone who is not too fond of their family, or maybe it's about time that you realize, especially in these difficult times, that, you know, you should appreciate your family and work on your relationship with your family if it's not where you want it to be. And that's definitely easier said than done, but it's something to think about, at least during this time, right? Time to rekindle, to solidify those bonds that you already have with your family and your friends. Yeah, get on those phone calls, have those hour-long, 2-hour-long FaceTime chats, whether it's with your family or your friends. Go out for distance walks with them, go on nature walks, go to national parks if they're open. On my list is starting a new journey. Now, this kind of could apply to any one of the preceding, you know, points or ideas that I've given you, because it's what you want to make out of it. Like, you could make learning something new a journey as well. So it really applies to everything. But I kind of specified on this one on its own is because when I say start a new journey, maybe for some of you guys, you have been wanting to go on a fitness journey where you want to gain weight or where you want to lose weight. Maybe this is a perfect time, because you have time now to really get out there, whether it's running or working out at home, watching YouTube videos of fitness individuals, or, you know, just doing something that you like, skipping the rope, and things like that. So it could be that. It could be starting a YouTube channel. For me, that's exactly it. For me, it was, my new journey is starting a YouTube channel and starting a yoga journey for some of you, or it could be a spirituality journey. There's so much out there, and like I said, you can literally have an interest and make that a journey. So, you know, you have the time now to do it. So do it. Start now. Just do it. You're never gonna have the same time as you do now, and you might have been procrastinating. I can relate to this because I procrastinated about starting a YouTube channel for many years, and as I'm recording this video, I'm realizing, like, wow, like, this is how long it took me to really, step my foot out of the puddle. So don't wait too long, just get on it. And guys, my final one on the list is very, very important. I think, again, this is one of those ones where it's a journey, so it could apply to all the points mentioned before or all the ideas mentioned before, but again, I wanted to specify it as a separate idea or category was self-care and wellness. Self-care and wellness is so important. It's so, so important. And my dog here is bothering me. Just give me 1 second. This is Sammy. Sammy, say hello. So yes, so I would say take care of yourself. This is the most important thing, and not just in terms of keeping yourself busy, but even just maintaining your health, your physical health, your mental health. So important. If that means doing nothing for some time, that's great, as long as it's coming from a healthy mindset. If it's about you maybe learning a new skincare routine, go for it. Self-care, okay? Wellness. If you want to, if you know you already have health issues, take this time to really take care of yourself. Don't worry about the pandemic. Everything will get figured out. Worry about your wellness, because if you don't worry about yourself, then nothing else really matters. So you are the most important asset you have. Okay? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. That's just a little bit of an accounting coming out of me, but you are your most important asset. Your body and your mind is your most important asset. And if you don't take care of that, nothing else matters. You won't be able to do anything else. So first things first, take care of yourself, and everything else comes after. Right, Sam? Take care of yourself, guys. That's all for now, my lovelies. Those were all my tips. Hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know in the comments below if you did. And, hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Until next time, remember to take care of yourself. Bye, guys.